Hi, this quick how-to video will teach you how to get your case to the Supreme Court. The U.S. uses a dual court system, with one half being the federal system and the other half being the state court system. Both of these fall under the appellate jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, which is when a higher court can hear and maybe change the decision of the lower court's decision if appealed. In this example, we will be going through the federal court system. Are you okay?
A school without disability access? This can't be allowed.
Luckily, in today's world, we have the Americans with Disabilities Act to prevent a situation like this. But for our purposes, we will assume it was never passed. The Supreme Court primarily deals with questions of constitutionality, so you will want a problem dealing with constitutionality. In this case, Finn can sue the school for violating the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment, which establishes that no person can be denied life, liberty, or property without due process, and must be treated equally under law. This protects people with disabilities being discriminated against. Because the 14th Amendment is a constitutional amendment, it will be heard in the Supreme Court. And as long as he can prove damages are caused by the other party, he is standing to sue for restitution. Just about anyone can make their case in federal district court, but you're going to want to make your case stick out. Some things you can do to make your case more appealing in the Supreme Court is targeting the justice's interests, taking on an issue of great importance, and taking on an issue that is across multiple states. In order to take your case to the next step in this process, the losing side must take their case to the U.S. Court of Appeals. In the case of Finn versus Montgomery County, I rule in favor of Montgomery County. You can only get to the U.S. Court of Appeals through the process of appeals, since it only has appellate jurisdiction. You can do this by filling a notice of appeals. Unfortunately, there's a small fee. After the notice is filed, it's up to the justice to decide if they agree with the lower court's decision. If you won your case, the only way to move up in the court food chain would to be lose in the Court of Appeals, and vice versa for if you lost. If you took the steps to craft a Supreme Court worthy case mentioned in step 2, then you should have nothing to worry about. After going to the U.S. Court of Appeals, you can move on to taking your case to the Supreme Court. The first thing you have to do is petition for a writ of certiorari. This is an order that requests the lower court to send up all records of the case to the Supreme Court. For your case to make it to the Supreme Court docket, you'll need approval from 4 justices based on the rule of 4. Once you get approval from 4 justices, you officially got your case to the Supreme Court. You've successfully got your case to the Supreme Court. But what now, you may ask? If your goal was to simply get a case to the Supreme Court, you are done. But if you want to win, I will give you a brief description on how the Supreme Court ruling process works. Once your case is on the docket, both sides of the case will submit briefs. At this point, any outside party may submit their amicus curiae briefs, which is a brief from the outside party that provides that party's insight on the case. After the briefs are submitted, both sides will present an oral argument, and after that, the court will rule. After the ruling, opinions are drafted and published, and the precedent is set. A precedent is a rule or principle that the holding sets for all legal cases surrounding the topic in the future. Well, that's all, folks. Thank you for your time, and goodbye.